Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It's time for Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM on Friday morning. It's June 9th. Graduation day for Woonsocket High School. Congratulations to the class of 2023.
We'll be there broadcasting live as we have since the 60s, if I remember correctly.
1860s, Dave?
No, Joe.
All right.
Radio is a 20th century thing.
I see. My name's Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. That's Dave Richards over there. Hi, Dave.
Hi there.
And we're being joined at the Coffee Ann table by Dave Dubo from Community Care Alliance. He's the contract manager for the Social Services Division. Good morning to you, Dave.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Sure, I'm glad you wrote that down. I didn't remember it all.
See, that's why I'm smarter than you sometimes. We're expecting Melissa Murray to be joining us as well.
Oh, she'll be careening in
a little later on.
through the streets of the city.
Dave Richards, it's time for a first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Then,
our first
then can we
sponsor.
talk to Dave?
And then we'll talk to the other
All
Dave.
right,
Yes.
very good. All right. Yes, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce brings you the first portion of Coffee and Discussion each and every Friday right here on the radio. And let's just talk about the upcoming events list that I have had sent to my inbox, being a member of the chamber myself. Next Tuesday is the 13th of June. Am I right there, Joe?
No.
No?
Say that again?
Next Tuesday
Oh,
is
you're
the
right,
13th
correct.
of June.
You're right.
Well, even a broken clock. So let's see. Emerging Leaders Networking Pop-Up is going on. It's from 5 to 7 in the afternoon next Tuesday, and it's at the Revival Brewing and Lost Valley Pizza. That's in Providence. Now, you'll notice that they like to go to these breweries and stuff like that because they're real popular with the members, especially at the end of the day. So it's 5 to 7, and it's the Emerging Leaders Networking Pop-Up coming up next Thursday. In August, mark your calendars for Welcome Wednesday Networking Coffee, because things do slow down a little bit during the summertime as far as the get-togethers are concerned. A lot of people go on vacation, stuff like that, as you know. August the 2nd, it says it's Wednesday, August the 3rd, it says further down, and it's an 8 to 9 o'clock deal at the BBBS headquarters. Welcome Wednesday. You can get more information on that and register by checking in with the Northern Rhode Island Chamber. Remember that all chamber events that occur between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., you have special dispensation to listen to the replay of Coffee Ann so you don't miss us. Businesses Brewing Networking Pop-Up is coming up on August 9th, and that's a 5 to 7 p.m. deal at the Providence Brewing Company. You see, there's a pattern developing here. And on September 19th, remember the executive golf outing for the chamber. They say it'll be at the Kirkbrae Country Club, and they still say it, so I imagine that the outing's going to be just fine by that time.
You can still golf. That's not a problem.
Right, and it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's on a Tuesday, September the 19th. Those are just a few of the things coming up for your Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Right now, they're busy as the dickens for the next week or so, watching all those legislative critters down there in Providence and making sure that you know what's going on. We just had a red alert this week for something that was coming up that could impact negatively many businesses here in the state. So the word went out for you to know about it and then take whatever appropriate action you thought would be appropriate. You can call your legislator, you can get a hold of the speaker, you can do all kinds of different things as a citizen. But isn't it wonderful you don't have to stay down there all day and all night watching them yourself? The Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce does it for you. Call them 334-1000 and find out how chamber membership can benefit you. And one more thing, Joe.
Okay, Dave.
Before we get to Dave, and I really want to get to Dave here, but I did get this last-minute message in from Michael over at the Precious Blood Church. They have their bingos on Fridays, as you know. And they say they have 60 tickets still available for bingo tonight.
Wow.
Might be the graduation and stuff like that. But like North Smithfield's already had their graduation, and so is Bellingham and other places like that, right? So they might be interested in coming down, saying that, gee whiz, the tickets are always sold out. Well, they're not sold out for tonight. 60 tickets are still available for the bingo as I speak to you now. So if anybody's interested in coming down who hasn't purchased tickets, they still have some. And stop by for some fun at the Precious Blood Bingo. That's in the lower level. Use the big parking lot off Hamlet Avenue. And thanks for telling us us all about it, Mike.
All right, Melissa Burry has joined us at the coffee table. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here with us.
I brought my cup today, my
Careening
own
through
cup.
the streets
Your
of
very own.
Woonsocket. No, that's not true.
All right, David Dubo from Community Care Alliance, Contract Manager, Social Services Division. He's here to talk about Medicaid. Correct, Dave?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
There's more to it than that,
Well,
Joe.
okay.
You heard
Like
the
what?
announcements on the radio
Yes.
that this is a renewal time for
Mm-hmm.
Medicaid, and a lot of people, this is the state version, this is not Medicare, which is federal, this is the state version. And the state has got to reaffirm all of your information to keep your account going, and yet so many people have moved or not kept up with things. They better get in there and take care of these things, and CCA has made it easy. Yesterday, they had an open house for you to come in and get all your information taken care of.
Correct.
Yesterday afternoon, they got one more coming up next Thursday. Tell us all about it, Dave.
Sure. So we're going to be at 55 Johns Cummings Way, and I think I'll expand the hours from 12 to 4 for next Thursday.
Oh,
that.
not 1 to 3, 12 to 4. We'll
Yeah,
change the
yeah,
message for you.
Excuse me?
We'll change the message that's on the radio
Perfect.
for you.
Yeah, I think that'll help others to utilize the pop-up clinic, if you will. But it is very important for folks to go online and update their information so that they can make sure that they get the appropriate updates by mail. They can visit healthsourceri.com in order to do that. And that should bring them into their account. And if they need assistance either logging in or creating a new account, we can do that for them as well.
Or even getting online. Now, I'm imagining that some people who qualify for Medicaid may be between permanent addresses. We say that delicately. And they may not have access to a computer easily. Although I have to correct myself on that. You can always go to the Harris Public Library and use one of the computers down there. But they may not have they may not be adept at using the computers and things like that. This is one main reason why you have personal service with human beings right there to greet them when they come in, right?
Correct. That is exactly right. Where, we'll meet people where they're at and we'll be able to assist them with those needs.
All right. Now, when they go, now this is not the same place it was yesterday. This is at John Cummings Way.
Correct.
This is what they used to call the Fleet Bank building. So very easy. It's right down in Social, right? I mean, you can't get any can't get any easier than that to get to. When they come in, where do they go? Because
They'll be greeted by a staff member and they'll be brought to a designated area where we will be conducting the
interviews
renewals.
and renewals, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do they need to bring anything with them?
Well, it is important. First, we just want to make sure everybody does have an account, but there is a slew of documentation that they will need for the renewal process, such as proper identification, verification of your Rhode Island residence, verification of your income.
How does someone who's between permanent residences do that? There's got to be a solution for it. What do you see happening?
If somebody is in between residencies, even a PO box may be able to help in that aspect.
Right.
That's a viable solution. Sometimes we have worked with clients in the past to be able to help with that.
Well, this is why you're going to be talking to a human being.
Exactly.
Because if you went online, that would be a no-go
That
right
would be a
there.
disaster right there. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why we,
And that's why it's so important that you have these
the
sessions.
one-on-one interactions with people to help them navigate through this process.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yep.
The question I have: if nothing has changed, do you still have to do the renewal?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Because there's a time limit on the account. And you know why, Joe? Because obviously people could leave. They got to be able to purge. People who are no longer, getting the services.
And somebody's economic situation may have changed as well.
True.
Whether They,
Somebody could have passed away and they didn't get the memo. So obviously there's a time length on each of these accounts. But now if you don't renew it, it'll vaporize.
Correct.
And that's a bad thing. That's one of the urgencies that you see at CCA, because if for some reason people don't respond to this and they don't get re-upped, then their services will go away, and then you have to start from day one again, right?
Yes, yes. And
Qualifying, etc.
that's a daunting task in it of
I
itself.
bet.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that the reason that this is happening, and this you always used to have to renew, but because of the pandemic and the state of emergency, there was a pause, and so everybody got automatically renewed.
Okay.
And
Right.
so if your situation has changed in the past 3 years, it's really, really, really important to update your information. And this is something that would have happened. It just hasn't happened for so long. So we don't want those folks to fall through the cracks and not update their information and then miss that paperwork and not renew and then lose their health benefits. That's
Because you'll find out when you need it most.
right. And then
When you don't
have time to mess
When
around.
it's an
Exactly.
emergency.
Exactly.
You might be presenting at an emergency room. Says, "Oh, sure, I have this." "Oh no, that's expired."
There's
"Oh my
nothing there.
goodness."
Yeah. Okay. Do you think people just fell out of because of the pandemic and they
fell
just
out of the habit
fell
of
out
having
the habit of
to,
renewing?
yeah, sure. And,
It happens.
I mean, when we're talking about Medicaid, we're not just talking about folks who are unhoused or are in between residences. We're talking about people sometimes who have full-time jobs that just don't get paid enough to actually qualify. So, and I mean, I will say they're all usually working at big corporations, but who don't pay their employees a living wage. But these are like working folks as well.
All right. If someone was to do this on their own, Dave, would you to renew? How long does it take? Or how long does it take? Would you do it down at Cummings Way? Is this a 30-minute situation, or it can be done in 10?
No, it's a little bit longer than that.
Is it? Okay.
This is not my area of expertise, but
He's representing.
I have seen the form, and the whole hard copy application is about 40 pages, none of which you don't have to fill out all 40,
government.
but you have to know what to
Look
what
for.
sections to look
It's
for.
government,
I know.
So it is a process, and
but it's very, very valuable for people.
absolutely, the peace of mind knowing that you have the insurance in it.
Well, not only
huge,
that.
yeah.
Now, Dave, I don't know if you came prepared to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyhow because I think some people might be thinking it. Okay, 12 to 4. That's cool. We got 2 extra hours next Thursday afternoon at Johnny Cummings Way. That's the big glass building there. But if they're working, and if they can't make it between 12 and 4 without taking time off of work,
Right.
what other alternatives would they have? Is there a telephone number they could call, someone
Yeah.
they could speak to?
So they can call 401-235-7000. That's our main line, and they can ask for a healthcare navigator, and should be able to assist them with what their needs may be.
And
at
they
that
want the
time.
healthcare navigator?
Healthcare navigators.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. And that's 401 235 7000,
Correct.
healthcare navigator. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because then they could even do that today
Correct.
and set that up. I'm just saying that, of course, those are working hours for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And we get that because they're working hours at CCA too. So
Yeah.
we get that.
Indeed.
We get that. So anyway, I just want to make sure there was an alternative there too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're doing this too. I'm very thankful that y'all are doing this because, as we know, trying to get through to DHS in the last few years has been
What a treat.
absolutely
What a treat.
ridiculous. We're
it
talking
that
about
bad?
3 and 4 hour wait times.
On the phone? Yeah.
Absolutely. And they were closed for 22 months during the pandemic. So there was you couldn't,
A lot of backlog
right?
there.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Their staffing levels are not great, but we're working on that.
How many people you have down at the Cummings Way to help people?
We have about 4 to 6 healthcare navigators throughout
good.
the agency that should be able to hopefully assist with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
and meeting people where they're at. I love that.
That's the key.
That's what you guys do. So.
That's exactly what we do.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More is coming your way, but Dave Richards, time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Glad you differentiated. He doesn't want to have to give the telephone number for the chamber.
Probably doesn't know it off the top of his head.
Yeah, right. And the telephone number is 334-1000. Call that number after 9 o'clock this morning because nobody's there to answer until 9 o'clock. They work 9 to 5 there at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, and they can tell you how the chamber can work hard for you. And we'll remind everybody again, there are tickets available for tonight's Precious Blood Bingo at Precious Blood Church. Big parking lot off Hamlet Avenue. Go on in the lower level and enjoy bingo tonight at Precious Blood. Joe?
Timeless Antiques and Collectibles is proud to salute the Woonsocket High School graduating class of 2023. Congratulations to you from your friends at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles.
Fresco Italiano, a Night of the Arts, returns to the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center on Saturday evening, June 24th at 5 p.m. The evening will feature professional artists, an art competition by the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts featuring students from Woonsocket and Cumberland High Schools, and a delicious Italian buffet served under the center's magnificent fresco paintings. Tickets are available at Beeler's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, and Vos True Value Hardware. For more information and menu, visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. It's June 9th. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. And we'll also be joined by Dave Dubo, Community Care Alliance, and he is a contract manager over there with the Social Services Division. How long have you been with the Community Care Alliance, Dave?
Oh, I've been with the agency for about 4 to 5 years.
Okay, so you know what you're doing, right? Wow, he laughed.
That's okay. Well, listen, I don't know. I really don't know what we could say that is going to make this any more urgent for folks, except that we've had one open enrollment or renewal set up yesterday, and we have one more next Thursday. And the hours have been adjusted. We have the announcement on the radio that was recorded. It says 1 to 3. It's now been adjusted to 12 to 4 to give you 2 more hours to get down there. And this time, of course, the address is at Cummings Way in Woonsocket. That's the big former bank building. And so all you have to do is get yourself down there between noon and 4 next Thursday, and someone will help you with this renewal process. Now, I mentioned earlier, Dave, about the kinds of documents you have to have. And you're talking about residence. I think I stopped you about there as I was asking, what do you do if you don't have permanent residence right now, or you're in between permanent residences? We kind of slowed the thing down there. But can I get you back on track for the kinds of documentation and information you're going to want to bring with you to renew your Medicaid account?
Sure. So to verify your identity, you'll need either a driver's license, school or work ID, birth certificate, bus pass, U.S. passport. To verify your residence, a rent or mortgage receipt, library card, voter's registration, lease agreement from your landlord. To verify your income, check stubs, employment, Social Security, income, veteran benefit, award letters, other retirement documentation.
Utility bills? Would that
Utility bills would help as well, yes. That would be more for your proof of residency,
yeah.
correct. To verify your resources, documentation of ownership of a trust, proof of rental properties, trust documentation, property, stocks or bonds, etc. To verify your dependent care, expenses, proof of expenses related to child care. To verify your
receipts
shelter.
from child care, right?
Correct. To verify your shelter costs, rent or lease mortgage documents, statement from landlord, property taxes, etc. Proof of property insurance. To verify child support payment expenses, child supports that you pay, or it could be a court order, all your medical expenses. Verify relationships among household members, adoption paper records, hospital public health records, child support, paternity records, marriage license, divorce custody papers, and then finally to verify your disability, you're going to need, obviously...
There's a certificate for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, obviously, a lot of those things don't apply to everybody.
That is correct.
But those are the sorts of things that you'll need depending on your circumstances.
Exactly.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Oh,
Sure.
Please do.
All right. If nothing's changed, and you're in the computer with all this information, why do you have to show it again?
Because again, everything was on pause as a result of the pandemic, and now
Okay.
they're beginning the whole renewal process over again, and therefore
wanna
everything
verify
needs to be
everything.
verified.
Again.
That is correct.
Okay.
You
all
would
right.
have had to renew
Yeah.
yearly prior to being on pause. So this is just going back to the
State of norm.
similarly, like semi-regularly scheduled, right? So they're doing, but they're doing it in increments because obviously we can't have everybody renew all at once.
Yeah.
So they're doing like different groups of people, and folks with children are going to be last.
Correct.
It's just because we know some people are going to fall
Yeah.
through the cracks and then have to reapply, and so we don't want those folks to be children, like, or people with children. So those will be done last. But I know this is like the first
Wave.
batch, first test
The
batch.
first go round. Yes.
But speaking of what Joe was trying to get through, common sense, all that information has been produced before. Isn't there a computer record that they can go back and check and, oh yeah, you got all this over there, and then you can affirm that it is all not unchanged? Or is there no way to do that? I know we're talking about government, so common sense usually flies out the window.
Yes. So
But I mean, you've given it to them already. They have it on file. We imagine the computers are still working, and no one's destroyed all that stuff. So what do you do? I mean, do you have to go back from? Because this is almost like applying everything but applying for a need certificate. You're going from that point on to start a new account. I realize that's not your purpose of being here today, to defend what the decisions are in the state government.
I just work there, Dave.
Yes, I get that. But as a matter of discussion, so that people can understand it better, or maybe Melissa wants to chime in here.
I'll field
she's
this
been
one.
studying this from her part-time job.
part-time job.
Yeah.
So I'll field this one. So the reason that the government makes you recertify is because you can say, oh, well, nothing's changed, but maybe you did get a
Yeah,
higher paying
Well,
job.
hold
or
on
maybe
just a second. This is not recertifying. What they're asking for now is for you to certify from the beginning. Bring the documents.
Right.
You see, that's not recertifying. In my brain, recertifying is, okay, here's the information. Has anything changed? Yes? Okay. Now show us that documentation. But that's not what we're
Right,
talking
and
about.
I understand that makes sense, but
But government
But-
doesn't always have the ability to make sense. Okay.
right, and you have to show that proof.
All right.
You have to show that proof. That
So
nothing's
isn't
changed.
it wonderful that in this land of governmental baloney, we have CCA there to hold your hand and
Oh
help
my
you
goodness!
through it?
So thankful, so thankful.
Community Care Alliance.
I'm
I
not
don't know
saying,
what you're
and
doing.
I don't make the rules, folks. I'm just, not
Yeah,
saying that
yeah.
it's right. I'm just saying that, we're very grateful that folks are here from CCA to,
You're making
help
a
us
contribution to the
to
discussion.
help us navigate these unwieldy laws.
See what happens, Dave, when I poke the bear?
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Anyway.
Which, of course, I can't resist the opportunity to point out that if a lawmaker says they're unwieldy laws, shame on them. Collectively.
Yes, right.
Okay.
If I were that powerful, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
You're right. You'd be sipping
No
coffee.
offense.
Well, you are sipping coffee. What do you know?
So one of the thing to keep
Coffee yet?
I drank it all.
Go ahead, Dave.
So one other thing to keep in mind is that everybody to keep an eye on their mail for updates as well. Some people may have their renewal date changed, but it would go out and not be moved up. So
Okay.
that's just an important.
It wouldn't be earlier, it'd be later.
Correct.
You think, humans being humans, they just put it off because
Yes.
this is so labor intensive. I'm just gonna,
Yep.
we'll do it next week. We'll do it next week.
Next week is here.
It's here. Surprise! Boy, that came quick.
Yep.
All right. So
And we really got into high gear in April, didn't we?
Yes, it really kicked off on April 1st.
Yeah. And here we are in
June, and we're still doing it.
10 weeks into it, and
Yeah.
we've got to get this thing straightened out.
Is there an final date where you have to have it done by?
I
Well,
believe
yeah, but then again, it's staggered for the different.
it's staggered
right.
for the different demographics.
Different needs,
Yes.
Okay.
But we are trying to get touch as many people as we can by the end of the month.
End of June.
Yes.
Okay. Because then it's going to be tough because then it's vacation times and people start scattering around.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
we'll do it when we come back from vacation.
Well, you got a point about that, but we are
Yeah.
talking about a segment of the population that usually doesn't enjoy long vacations
Oh,
away.
true.
True.
You know,
Exactly.
they can't afford to take a vacation at a distance. Many of the people we're talking about, those are the people we're trying to help.
Yes.
Well, they might want to just take a week down at the Cape and visit people down there they might know.
Well,
No,
Joe,
probably not.
I understand where you're going with that, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling that's a little inappropriate to be suggesting that might be happening. Yeah, might be humorous, might be entertaining, but not necessarily appropriate. All right, geez. Well, we're almost out of time with you, Dave, over here. You want to recap from the beginning and get everything in a little capsule for us?
Sure. We'll be doing our Medicaid renewals. Come down and see us at 55 John's Coming Away. We'll be there next Thursday from noon to 4. And
And this is just Thursday, noon to 4.
Thursday, noon to 4.
It's not every day. It's
it's-
not. You're not planning on doing it again in July and August because it's going to be too late.
Correct. We're only doing it June 15th from 12 to 4 at 55 John's Coming Away. We will also be having other pop-up clinics for our clients at different times. But just make sure that you at least come down and we can verify that your account is live and update your information in the system to make sure that you get mail and updates, and we can help you navigate through that process.
That's the big thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that doesn't take too much time, really.
No, that should be pretty
Verification.
quick.
Yeah. It would just take a short period of time. Now, when you have to go through all the paperwork, I think you said 40 pages at one point in the discussion this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, if it's like 40 pages, well, that's not going to be 5 minutes.
No, but a lot of that stuff may be non-applicable depending on what your specific
Good.
situation is.
Then you can skip 5 or 10 pages.
Exactly.
Right.
And move on to the
We'll
stuff
move
that
on.
just they're just for
Right.
you.
So the takeaway is if you're feeling overwhelmed, like, oh, I don't have all that documentation together, I can't get it all together by Thursday, that's not really the point. Just go and make sure.
Get the process started.
Get the process started. Make sure your account is live, and you will not miss the notices when it's time for you to produce
Correct.
those documents.
All right.
Perfect.
And then you can do the follow-ups later on.
Yes.
But they got to get there next Thursday, noon to 4, period.
Yep.
Just at least to get it started.
Right.
Better
All right.
safe than sorry, right? You
Correct.
need peace of mind knowing that, okay, when it comes time, I'm going to be alerted.
All right. Dave Dubo, thanks for joining us here
Excellent.
today.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
been really
Thank you
great.
so much.
Say hi to all of our friends back at the ranch. And
Okay.
'cause we have many friends at CCA, and
we do.
I won't start mentioning them because somebody's going to
You'll
get offended
forget.
when I don't mention them because we have so many friends at CCA. Thanks again for coming today.
Thank you.
And joining us on Coffee and Joe.
All right, Dave, thanks. And it's time for a look at the weather forecast as we take a break here in Coffee and being sponsored by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism.
The National Weather Service has issued an air quality alert for today till midnight and hazardous weather outlook. Scattered showers, possibly a thunderstorm today, and some thunderstorms could produce some small hail, gusty winds, and heavy rain. Patchy fog. Otherwise, cloudy with a high of 67 today. New rainfall amounts of 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain are possible. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms continue, otherwise cloudy with an overnight low of 50 degrees. Saturday's weather, scattered showers, mainly before 5 p.m., but only a 30% chance. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 72. Sunday, beautiful, partly sunny skies with a high of 81. Monday, a 40% chance of a shower at midday, mostly cloudy with a high of 77. Tuesday, showers are 80% likely with a high of 75. Wednesday, a 40% chance of a shower, partly sunny and 76. And next Thursday, mostly sunny and 77.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies, we have 64 degrees. Explore the many hidden gems of Massachusetts and discover that the best things in life aren't things, they're moments. Go to visitma.com for your chance to win a getaway, including hotel dinners and outdoor activities.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with REMAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
What does it mean that our customers are our owners? It means that we don't have shareholders like a bank. We have owners like you. And though we don't have traditional shareholders, we do share. We share values, expectations, and yes, profits in the form of better rates, lower fees, and dividends. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
Hi, this is Don Burnell inviting you to join us on the Midday Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Super Quiz, great oldies, and interesting guests.
Thanks, Don. This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Melissa Murray is with us, and we're also being joined now by Rich Lane from Post 85, American Legion Post 85 here in Woonsocket. Good morning to you there, Rich.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you here with us.
Nice to be back, as always, on a Friday.
On the Fridays to give us an update of what's going on at the Post.
Yep. Well, but before I get to the Post, what I'd like to do is I want to recognize a council that I belong to and Post 85 belongs to. It's United Veterans Council of Woonsocket. And, we had our meeting last night, and I'm always remiss in not remembering them. That there's actually seven entities, 6 entities that belong to it. There's St. Joe's Vets, the VFW 6342, My American Legion Post 85, Disabled American Vets 12, AmVets 7, and Vietnam Veterans Association 818. And we get together once a month at our meetings and do fantastic work for veterans in the Woonsocket area. So I just wanted to kind of recognize them. And one thing I did want to mention, and a little bit of history here, the Vietnam Veterans Association 813 is holding a poppy drive down at the Walmart over at Downing Village in North Smithfield this Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3 p.m. And this poppy drive, and I did not know this, it was brought to my attention last night, there is a Vietnam veteran that is the only one in Woonsocket that's still MIA.
There's only one?
There's only one, okay. I was told. And his name is James Michael Ray. So he is still considered MIA, a resident of Woonsocket that served in Vietnam. But that's who the poppy drive is for. So if you happen to be in the down in North Smithfield in the Walmart area down at Downing Village, stop by on Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3 and contribute a couple of dollars and grab yourself a poppy in memory of James Michael Ray and MIA. That means that someday maybe. Someday, Right. So that's one thing I did want to mention. And now as far as what's going on down the Post, we got a very busy weekend here. We have the band on Saturday, June 10th, So Many Roads, is going to be playing up at our pavilion from 7 to 11 p.m. As always, no cover charge. We'll have the outside bar open, so you can have some beverages there. And just come on down this Saturday from 7 to 11, have a good time, listen to some good music. And on Sunday, this is something Melissa's actually going to be very interested in at least knowing about. There is a motorcycle run.
Yes, I know about
Yes,
this.
yes, and it's called Vets and Pets. And that's, like I said, this Sunday,
It's
June
cute,
11th.
yeah. I love
And
it.
you love it.
I love
know
it,
you
I
do,
love
yeah. So it's a motorcycle run and a Jeep crawl. So if you got a Jeep, you can come with your Jeep. And that's to benefit, veterans associations and local animal shelter. And the registration from that is at 10 a.m. And the registration is going to be down at the American Legion Post 85 at 870 River Street in Woonsocket. They're rolling out at 11:30 a.m., so you got about an hour and a half to get down there and register everything. And it's $20 for a Jeep or a motorcycle, $15 for your passenger, and kids 12 and under are only $10. But all the money goes to such a great cause. They're going to be rolling out to a place called Cody's, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know Rhode Island, so. But they're going to be rolling out to Cody's Tavern and then back to
Katie's.
Katie's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Katie's.
Yeah.
I need new reading glasses. And they're going to be heading back to Post 85 for food, beverages, and some raffles and some live music by the Next Stop band. And the food will be served at 2:30 p.m. So come on down, enjoy yourself, have a good time for a great, great cause.
And we have that on our website as well, on our events page.
Yeah,
so
you
if you
do.
missed any of that, we actually have all these events on our events page.
Yeah, and in
Yep.
fact, I looked at the events page this morning, and thank you to Dave and Joe and you, Melissa, for keeping that up to date because it looks pretty good. It's got a lot of not only our activities, but a lot of other great activities.
Yeah, all local
going
stuff.
Absolutely, and so that's pretty much. And if anybody wants to, if they go to the events page on WON, or you can go to the website for the American Legion 85, which is fairmountpost85.org, and you can look it up there. And as always, I love to mention the courtesy vehicle that we have for our veterans. Once again, we have a courtesy vehicle that was donated to us by Imperial Chevrolet and Kevin Meehan down there in the little town of Mendon, as they say. And that vehicle is down at American Legion Post 85. And if you're a veteran that needs a ride to a VA appointment or a private doctor's appointment, if you're a veteran, all you got to do is call the American Legion Post 85 at 401-766-7585. Give your name, your telephone number. They will get in touch with me. I am the duty officer. I will call you and we'll set up your medical appointment, set up a driver, and we'll get you to and from, and we wait for you at the appointment, so there'll be no problems at all. You get a nice ride. And speaking of all that, we got the other day from the office of the Speaker of the House. You know about this, I bet, too. Probably not, but we got
Probably not.
We got two proclamations.
That's the other side.
That's the other side. But we got two.
we don't go over there. No, just kidding.
We don't talk to them.
We got two proclamations to the courtesy vehicle the other day. One I was completely surprised about. The other one we kind of wanted to put a bug in somebody's ear to get for us, and we got that. But the proclamation, one of them is going to be for Kevin Meehan, Imperial Chevrolet, for the donation of the vehicle. They come in very nice folders, very official looking.
Right, the
Very
little
nice.
binder.
Very nice.
Yes,
Perfect.
it's like a little hardcover.
Yeah.
Perfect for framing.
Perfect for framing.
for
Yeah, but we'll be bringing that down to Kevin and Imperial Chevrolet. Going to give them a telephone call and set up a time. And they also sent, and I was shocked at this, and I'm so happy. They also sent a proclamation for our courtesy drivers.
Oh,
that's nice.
Our volunteers,
Yeah.
saying, thank you to American Legion
doing
Post 85 and your volunteer drivers and stuff. So our drivers are going to be tickled pink because they were already excited to do these trips.
Yeah.
And, in life, everybody likes to hear a thank you every now.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be
right.
anything huge, just, gee,
Right.
thank you. So if any of my volunteer drivers are listening out there, thank you. I want to thank you because you make my job a heck of a lot easier when I got a pool of drivers to pick from. So that's pretty much everything that's going on.
All right, very good, Rich. Thanks for keeping us up to date on that. Other things going on newsworthy-wise. Well, the victim at the subway in Smithfield has been identified, and it's a Woonsocket resident.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Charlotte Vaca, Vacca. Wasn't she the manager of the subway sandwich shop?
Oh, no.
Oh.
And she's the one that passed away. Her family's already has created a GoFundMe page, asking for help to cover funeral expenses. And she's just described as a hardworking and devoted mother. And authorities still say the driver just apparently sped his car through this parking lot and just crashed into the subway, which eventually crashed into the wall that kept the subway and the Planet Fitness apart from each other. But they're both closed indefinitely while they finish the investigation, and then the construction work will get going on fixing both places.
They still don't know the intent, or they're just
No
not
intent. They
saying?
still haven't identified the driver of the car yet either. Not yet, anyway.
Well, publicly.
Publicly, they haven't. Right.
Okay.
They just identified the woman that passed away in the
that's too
accident,
bad.
and she turns out to be a Woonsocket resident. So that's too bad that happened there. Gee, you go to work, you think everything's gonna be fine, and
Right?
here comes a car crashing through your business. It's just crazy. Now I talk. This is funny, Rich, because I talked to Melissa about this story yesterday, and it makes her skin crawl. It gives her the heebie-jeebies.
Not this one.
And it's going to continue, because I don't know if you've heard.
No.
There's a former Providence school district administrator.
Gosh. This is just,
All right.
ugh.
He went on trial. His name is Olakian Olege. Okay, and I think this goes back to 2021. And so he goes into a gym in Warwick. Now this guy's an adult, and he sees a kid sitting there who's 15 at the gym in the locker room, and it says, "Hey, nice sneakers. Can you tell me about them?" And there's whatever the sneakers are. That part's not important. But it's alleged that this guy picks up the kid's foot, takes his sneaker off of him, and then starts massaging his foot without his consent. All right. So so they decided to press charges against the guy, and he was found guilty, but then he put in an appeal and won the appeal. So they just had a second trial for the same thing just this past week, and Melissa, it's a mistrial.
Well, how is it a mistrial?
It's a mistrial, and so now we're going to do it a third time.
Okay.
Third trial is set for June 28th.
Right.
We start it all
So-
over again.
Right. He appealed the criminal trial, right? Or is this the civil? Or is it?
No, he
Oh,
appealed.
okay.
He appealed the guilty verdict from the
Yep.
first trial,
Right.
and he won. He was found guilty, but he appealed it, and he won. So the verdict is overturned.
What was the charge?
It's assault.
Okay, an assault charge.
Yeah, if I start
Okay.
rubbing your foot and you don't want me to,
All right.
I can be arrested
That's an
for
assault.
for
Okay,
assault.
so-
I mean, it's
so-
simple assault. It's real.
Yeah.
It's
But
small, but
Doesn't this individual also have a prior history?
yeah, I saw that on the
of
news yesterday down in Florida of
doing
Here we go. Now we get the story.
unwanted touching, kind
There
of
we
doing
go.
the same
Okay.
thing.
Of feet?
Yeah.
Yes. So.
But the
it's
other
a
problem
thing.
is that he's an adult and the kid was a minor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 17 now, but he was 15 when this took place.
Well, invite that gentleman over to my house for a barbecue.
Will he be roasting?
No, I just,
So it's just not going to go away because we're gonna trial this again for the third time and we'll see what happens.
Right.
See what
It's-
happens then.
It's bizarre. And
It is-
creepy.
it is
and
bizarre
creepy.
and weird.
And highly inappropriate.
And
but all of those things.
I said, no, Melissa, this kind of stuff happens in the locker room all the time.
Yeah, right.
They say, hey, hand me your foot. and I thought of Rich, and like, boy, Rich would have put him through a wall.
yeah. It would have been an ugly scene, that's for sure.
All right, Dave's got the Valley Breezes in his hand.
I do have the zzz.
So it's time for a second message from the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Cumberland Lincoln edition is in my hand right now, as a matter of fact, and we're looking for. I'll just wait for you to focus on that. There you go. And here they are. I moved the nice little sticker there, and you can see pictures of youngsters, both ladies in white and the guys in blue at Lincoln High, graduating their class. Of course, all the graduates are big stories right now. Mount St. Charles graduates 103. The Cumberland House of Pizza celebrates 50 years in business.
In the same place. Chops has not
there you
moved.
Go. Isn't that something? And the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition.
Same family too, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's really it's a remarkable business, and they've done an awful lot with it down through the years. They haven't just sat there doing their regular business; they've been a part of the community. All right, now the North Smithfield High School, of course, class is 23, celebrating their accomplishments, and there's a nice picture in there. And who else we have here? Oh yes, another story about Mount St. Charles from a different angle with different pictures for the folks in the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition. And I should point out to you, folks, that not only, of course, do you pick up the Valley Breeze in its paper edition, free where you shop every Thursday, and at your favorite local radio station as well, and 2 different flavors. But also drop by to valleybreeze.com because you got news all over the place. One of our stories, as a matter of fact, you were just talking about the story from Greenville about the subway shop. The wire services even picked up the great story from valleybreeze.com.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you want to catch your news, you can catch it at valleybreeze.com as well. And that's the Valley Breeze. Thanks for bringing us the conversation every Friday.
All right, Dave, thanks. Comments and questions can be called into the Coffee and Panel, 766-1240. More coming your way. Stay tuned.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Landmark Medical Center is proud to salute the Woonsocket High School graduating class of 2023. Congratulations to you from your friends at Landmark Medical Center. Hi, this is Joe Callahan, and I'm inviting you to join me along with Dave Richards as we broadcast from the grand opening of the Burger King this Saturday, June 10th. And the grand opening is from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. You could win free BK for a year. The first 100 guests who spend $20 or more will receive free Burger King for a year. Doors open at 12, remember that, so get in line early to save your spot. There'll be other family-friendly activities as well. Meet and greet with the Burger King, cornhole, scavenger hunt, crown decorating, build your own Whopper, and DJ Alex Brown. Plus, Burger King Management will present a $1,000 donation to Woonsocket High School. And we're bringing free Canopy Lake Park tickets. Come on down and register to win those free tickets. That's the grand opening of the Burger King on Social Street this Saturday, June 10th, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. All right, it's coffee.
Depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, now it's Coffee Ant here on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and Rich Lane. I'm Joe Callahan. Well, you've been busy down there at the State House there, Melissa.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a late night last night.
Very important.
Or morning.
The Senate approved legislation, because this is what we need, iGaming. Rhode Islanders 21 and older will be able to access existing table games via computer or mobile app. More ways to learn how to gamble. Okay.
More ways to not teach reading, writing, and arithmetic in the schools.
Oh, there's plenty of math here.
Right.
Oh no. The next thing is, see, I never ever look at one little tiny itty bitty thing without trying to also look at the larger picture. And the more you keep trying to make gambling more accessible to more people more easily in order to fill the coffers of the state, because you know you're going to need the money, and if you don't need the money, you'll find a way to spend it anyway. All right, rant off. You're also, the very next thing you watch, next 2-3 sessions, going to come up with laws mandating education on how to not gamble or how to gamble in public schools.
Oh, I doubt that. No,
What?
No, there'll be no gambling in the public schools, Dave.
Oh,
No.
they have to teach. This is it. They have to teach the kids at an early age.
How to
Don't
gamble?
be gambling till you're 21.
No,
should
don't
we-
gamble until you're 21. You
Should we
can't.
teach people how to
Right.
smoke in the
But then,
the
but then they've got to
schools, too?
also have the schools so they can teach people to gamble responsibly.
No. Oh, that's silly, Dave.
Don't give me this. That silly.
Anyway,
You
it
wanna
moves
put-
on to the House, by
I'll
the
bet
way,
you
for their
Tootsie Roll on it.
consideration.
I'll
That they're
collect
gonna.
it for years.
Then we're
I'll
on.
bet you
Yeah,
Tootsie
there's
Roll.
no way that that's happening.
Make it one of those giant ones.
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
go.
Melissa knows what I'm talking about. You know, because it's
Mandatory
because
teaching
it's
of gambling
going-
in school.
It is going to become a social problem and a social disease, which will be dealt with by going to the schools and teaching everybody in the schools. Instead of reading, writing, and arithmetic, we have to teach them about this. Because they've already mandated teaching people about sexual preferences, about all the rest. Oh, yes, it's all mandated. No. I read
Not
it.
quite, Dave.
I read
Not
it.
quite.
I read it in the
Financial literacy, yes, which is
See,
very
there's
important.
another one, financial literacy.
literacy.
Let's not talk about reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
there's
When-
arithmetic there.
When I was in 5th grade in Harris School in Woonsocket way back in the 80s, I had a really great teacher, and I didn't like this teacher at the time. But in retrospect, this teacher was so fantastic, and he taught us. He made us do cursive over and over again. We're like, we already learned this, but he would make sure that we made like the correct. He must have gone to
Palmer
Catholic
method?
school. Yes, it was the Palmer method. But this was in 5th grade. He taught us though how to write a check, which isn't relevant anymore either. But like those types of things. And at the time, I thought, why are we doing this? But you know what? I mean,
Turns
that
out
kind
you
of
need
stuff
it.
was important. How to write a check, and you needed to know how to write a check in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. But those things, they were basic stuff that should be taught in school. But we had a teacher that was awesome enough to just do those little things in addition to all the other stuff.
All right. Well,
Well,
under
that's nice, but forcing curricula on the schools,
But I think financial literacy is important.
of course, it
'cause they're
plays
not-
right into
It
the
is.
hands. It plays right into the hands of the project from the governor, where he wants to increase reading, writing, and arithmetic skills. And science skills and stuff like that. It's the core education things that you kind of wish you could get to when you didn't have to do all the other superfluous stuff. Since I was in school, they kept mandating things that they had to get into a curricula at public schools because they could. Because then they could go pound their chests and go get reelected. Meanwhile, their core skills in a school were being squeezed for time to get done. When I say reading, writing, and arithmetic, I really mean core skills. Of course, it also includes science and the things that you need, because it's always been my belief, and somehow society has not followed through this, but it was explained to me, you go to school for instruction. Your family and your job and the rest of life gives you your education. When you take instruction and combine it with life skills, that's an education. But they keep calling them education departments.
well, let's get a law in there to change that.
What are we going to call it, though?
I don't know.
It will be the improving life law, because you
Alright.
can't disagree with improving life.
Rich, any thoughts on what Dave has just spouted about for the last few minutes?
And I kind of agree with him.
You think we'll have mandatory
Well,
gambling in the
some-
schools?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to. It's weird today what they're trying to push on kids. It really is. And when you come up with ideas like this, then the kids got to be taught how to control them, I guess. And so that's all going to be part of teaching kids to grow up in today's world, I guess, huh?
Well, it's like this. The concept of the public school education thing was the primary schools would be instructive and give you the skills you needed to go out and live a life. You should be completed by the time you had to go out and get a job and be a productive member of society. That was the idea. And that college was for the rest of life and the professions and the studying specific things other than the core skills of how to get by and be a productive member of society. We've kind of, the lines have been blurred for quite some time.
can I blur another line? Because I wanted to get this in before the end of the
I'll
program.
take my glasses
Melissa's
off. Will
sitting
that
here.
help?
No, this is this is like this kind of a veterans thing that I'd like to touch base on real quick. On June 12th, I guess down at the State House, they are going in Rhode Island. They're going to celebrate what they call Women's Veterans Day. Is I guess the way they're titling it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Women's Veterans Day. What it is, it's Women's Armed Services Integration. And what that is, it was an act that was passed on June 12th of 1948 by then President Harry Truman that basically recognized the right for women to serve as permanent members of the armed forces. That's what June 12th is all about. Now, there are some states in the United States where the state legislators have put bills in to make that being called Women's Veterans Day. In certain states, there's like 14 states that have legislated that June 12th to be Women's Veterans Day. I would be very, very careful if I were some of the legislators in Rhode Island that want to push that issue of calling it Women's Veterans Day. Because I had conversation with women's veterans, and they see that as just another way to segregate women. We have a Veterans Day. That is
For all
November
veterans,
And they're included.
11th.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they are included. These aren't women who are veterans. These are veterans who just happen to be women. And they should stay, my opinion, my personal opinion, is they should just stay with November 11th. That's Veterans Day. That's all veterans. So I would be very, very careful if I were some of our state legislative people in Rhode Island to want to say, okay, no, we're going to make June 12th Women's Veterans Day. Because there are a lot of women's veterans that say it's a segregation type of thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to be separated
think
from their
someone-
male counterparts.
I think someone put in a resolution to that effect. But
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay. And I think, I don't remember who it
Yeah.
was, if it was the House or Senate.
House.
Oh,
I
okay.
think, I think it's
All right.
House 6501, if I'm seeing it correctly.
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Oh, yes.
ju-
Oh, I see it right.
Yeah, just be wary of getting some perspective from women's veterans. I mean,
Sure.
who's ever doing that is probably trying to do the right thing.
Right.
But
Right.
there's a lot of women that, to me, hey, I'm happy women got to be in the military because, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they could shoot straight and protect my butt, I'm a happy man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So we're really recognizing the beginning of women being able to serve.
Correct.
Right. So that is what we're celebrating. So you're right. It's a different. I think over time that's been lost, and then probably someone thought that they were doing something
A good thing.
good, and just didn't get enough community input to make the right decision. Right?
I mean, what's next? Let's celebrate kids that went into the military at 18 years old. Let's celebrate people that are leaving at 20. Oh, God, how many different? How many times are you going to chop it up? You know.
Yes. It all has to do with making people
Feel special.
Yeah.
I was
putting
trying to
people in
come up with a
special-
way of saying it differently than I said it before, but I guess the way I was saying it before was pretty good. Seeing the similarities and not the differences. And I was always taught, see the similarities, not the differences.
It's all about equality. That's what it is. I mean,
Well,
everybody.
that's real
yeah,
equality when
yeah.
you see the similarities and not the differences, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, we're coming to the end of the program, and I wanted to bring this up because Melissa brought it up to me yesterday. New Jersey is the most romantic state in the nation, according to this one company.
That's a little hard to swallow.
What was
Joe.
the criteria?
Well, this is the criteria. A fine jewelry company from New Jersey. The company studied Google data for searches for
Google.
yes, searches for engagement and wedding rings, romantic getaways, and romantic destinations. And somehow New Jersey came in first. Delaware comes in second, and New York comes in third.
It has nothing to do with the truth, just what
No.
Mr. Google reports.
That's
Just
correct.
the Google,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Maybe
Who's
New
buying
York.
the most
right?
engagement rings? Okay, so that makes us the most romantic. Ta-da!
No, boy.
Maybe New York because
That's how a lot of
Niagara
studies-
Falls,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of
But,
studies
like,
that you
no.
see are not actual studies. They are simply going to Google Analytics and making up a question.
Yeah, and
That they can
see
sell.
what answer can we get back? Okay. That'll do it for the show for today. We thank you very much for listening in, as always, and we thank Dave.
I was just getting started.
Dave Dubo from Community Care Alliance joining us a little earlier, and Rich Lane. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, always a pleasure.
I'm going to have to tell you off the air who you look like. I finally figured it out.
Oh, God, please.
Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, and congratulations to our graduates today.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And Dave Richards, thanks for sticking around.
Yes, it's been wonderful. This afternoon at 4, we'll be taking care of the broadcast of the. I'm being very careful. Taking care of the broadcast of the commencement ceremonies for Woonsocket High School. Tomorrow, Joe and I will be down at the BK on Social Street, having a little bit of fun down there, and all the rest of that sort of thing. Make it a nice, safe weekend, will you, folks?
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great weekend as always. And
And
Gary
order
Smith.
your pizzas for tonight.
Now, Gary, I'll pick them up in 5 hours. Gary Smith and the crew, Do You Remember, is coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Stella Lawrence writes on the front page of today's Woonsocket Call newspaper. Woonsocket police have responded to 3 unrelated shooting incidents this week, one of which seriously injured a victim. The first incident occurred Monday evening near Golan Avenue. Deputy Chief Thomas Caluro said 5 juveniles